Hello and welcome to the Chief Architect Cabinet webinar. I wanted to thank everybody for coming today. Our focus in this webinar is to cover our manufacturer cabinet catalogs, and specifically we're going to be using the Wood Mode catalog. With Chief Architect there are actually both manufacturer catalogs and custom cabinets. I'm going to talk a little bit about both as we go in and do our design work. With Chief Architect you can get very high-end renderings. You can also get artistic renderings and provide your customers with options as you're doing your design work. There's also the technical tools available, so you can do your cabinet schedules, you can do your detailed drawings and send those off to your various installers to use that. Chief Architect also has the ability to do whole house design, so if you're doing beyond kitchen and bath work, the power of the tools allow you to do whole house design. In today's webinar I'm actually going to be using our Chief Architect Interiors product. We have two main products. The Premier version is our full residential design version. You can think of everything in the Interiors product is included in our full residential design. And I want to let those of you that are cabinet dealers to know we do have our sales team here, and we have national account pricing for the Wood Mode dealers, and if you happen to be representing another line, of course you can call into our sales team. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to open up Chief Architect and I'm going to place a couple of cabinets. One is I'm going to place a generic custom cabinet from our library, and then I'm going to browse into our Wood Mode catalog. And for today's presentation I'm actually going to be using the Wood Mode Design Group 42. So I'm going to grab a base cabinet here, and I just want to give you a quick summary of the different cabinets. Let me grab a cabinet and we'll place a cabinet in here. Take our 3D overview. So the first thing you're going to notice about the two different cabinets, first of all, the Chief Architect cabinet on the left hand side of your screen has a countertop, and other than that it looks a lot like the existing cabinet. In fact, we used the Chief Architect cabinets to build the Wood Mode catalog. All of these cabinets you can open up, you can customize, so if we want to explore the different tabs, and I will be doing this as we do our design work, but let's say you do not want the hardware on your cabinet. So I will go ahead and open up our door, and I'll go ahead and remove that, and you can see what that looks like. Of course, with the Wood Mode catalog, just give you a quick overview summary in what Wood Mode has to offer in Chief Architect. So there's 4 cabinet lines within Wood Mode: Brookhaven 1, 2, and then Design Group 42 and 84. Within the different lines you'll find the cabinet boxes, the door and drawer styles, the finishes, and the wood species. And then the final thing that Wood Mode includes is the moldings for edge profiles, crown molding, light balances. So let's go ahead and open up our door and drawer styles, and I'm going to grab one of the doors. I'm in the Hallmark. Let's grab a door, and to apply that door I can simply click on the cabinet. I can also do the same thing here on the generic cabinet. The matching drawer, click on that, and since I can apply that to the Chief Architect generic cabinet, there may be some instances if you have a specialty cabinet that you can't find in the catalog, you can use those cabinet tools to do that. And let's go ahead and change the color real quick. Go into our finishes here. I'm just going to find a color, and we'll apply that to the cabinet. Grab another color here and apply it to the cabinet. So every cabinet actually has a individual materials list. So if I open this up, you'll notice that on the Chief Architect cabinet, first of all, I have Enviroglass countertop. My base cabinet is a generic cabinet, so I don't have a manufacturer in here. And then here's my door style, my drawer style, and then my hardware associated with knobs and pulls. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview of the way the cabinets worked, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a kitchen design. And as I'd mentioned earlier, please feel free to chat in, and we do have a person here available to answer your questions as I'm going through. And quite possibly we can just integrate that into the demo. So let's go ahead and close our 3D view, and I'm going to delete our two cabinets. And I'm going to go ahead and start with our wall tool. Close down our catalog browser here. As we open up Chief Architect, in the menu system you're going to find the common architectural objects for walls, doors, windows, cabinets, electrical, ceiling tools, framing tools if you're using our full residential design program, and of course our elevation tools and our 3D navigation tools. Over here we have our library, and as we'll explore that here in a little bit. So I'm going to get started here. I'm going to use my wall tool, and I'm going to create the shape of our kitchen room. Now as I drag out the walls, you'll see a dimension that is being displayed. And once I finish with the shape of the room, I can use my automatic dimensions and place my dimensions. To resize your room, simply click on the wall, pull it into the position you want. You can also highlight the dimension, and let's go ahead and set that to be 26 feet and precisely locate your wall. So again, to make your dimensions, simply click on the wall, drag it, or enter in your dimension. Enter in 31 feet, and then we can update our dimensions. Now the first thing you'll notice as an interior designer is you want to have your dimensions go to the interior wall. So let's go ahead and use our interior dimension tool, and let's just drag a interior dimension through here, pull that up, and let's go ahead and pull another one down on this side. And now when we zoom in here, let's go ahead and zoom in. The wall that I actually have used is composed of multiple layers. This inside layer where this dimension is going to is our sheetrock. So you may typically want to dimension sheetrock to sheetrock, and you can use that interior dimension tool. Let's go ahead and take a 3D view. I'm going to use my overhead camera. Simply click on it, and in this view you can navigate around. Now the first thing you're going to notice is I already have colors, materials, and textures assigned. I have the outside of my wall defined, the flooring is defined, my wall color is defined, my molding is defined, as well as the height of my ceiling. These are all defaults that I've set up in my profile plan. So if you know ahead of time what your ceiling height is, what the style of your cabinet door is, you can save yourself a little bit of time in setting up those defaults ahead of time. Of course, you can always change them as you're going through the process. For the purpose of our demo, I'm going to select our two outside walls here, and I'm going to simply toggle them off by setting them as invisible, and then we can zoom into our design. You'll find that a handy tool if you're doing tight work such as any bathrooms. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up our Wood Mode catalog. You'll notice that I've got a variety of catalogs open over here. These are all catalogs that you can pull off of the Chief Architect website. Underneath the User Center there's catalog downloads. We support both the bonus generic catalogs and manufacturer catalogs. In here it's sorted by category. Featured item up here. If you're a Wood Mode dealer, you must be a dealer to download those. Simply click there and it will ask you the information for your dealer, and you can log in. So we've sorted our catalogs by category, and you can choose the various catalogs. There's a lot of other manufacturers or other categories that you can pull in, and those will just then load up into your program. So today I'm going to be using the Wood Mode Design Group 42 catalog, and I'm going to start with our cabinet boxes. And you'll have to bear with me a little bit here because I am not a Wood Mode dealer and probably don't know this catalog the same way many of you do. So to begin with, I'm going to find a corner cabinet, and I'm going to place that over in our corner. So let's come down here. I'm going to find a corner cabinet. You'll notice that I get a preview of that cabinet once I click on it. You can rotate around and make sure that's the right style of cabinet. Here's my information about it. So I'm going to click on that cabinet, and I'm going to simply click that in the corner of the room. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to find a 4-drawer base cabinet, and I'm going to simply grab this one. I'm going to click and place that, and if you want to resize that, you can grab these handles here and resize it. You can also open up the cabinet and specify the dimensions in here. We'll cover that here in a little bit more. So I'm going to snap that into place, and the next thing I want to do is let's go ahead and find a combination cabinet, door and drawer, and grab this, click this into place. Again, if you want to resize that, I want this to be 24 inches. Slide that into place. I'm going to leave a spot here for my cook range, and we'll put that in here in a little bit. The next cabinet that I want to place is just a single door cabinet, and again I want to resize that to 24 inches. I'm also going to place one of these single door cabinets over here on this wall, and I want to make this one 21 inches. By the way, I'm designing in my perspective view. You may find the elevation view, the plan view, and I'm going to do that design work in those views, but you may find different views offer different advantages when you're doing your design work. Now I want to find a 2-door cabinet, and let's go ahead and place this one, and we want this to be 24 inches. So let's go ahead and check that. Let's go ahead and set that to be 24 inches, and then we'll snap that into place. So I have most of my base cabinets. I'll end up making a copy of a couple of these here in a minute for our island and on the other side of our cooktop. I'm going to return to my plan view, and I'm going to place a couple of the wall cabinets. I'm going to start with actually my corner wall cabinet. And if you want to bring up both views simultaneously, you can simply toggle your view like this. We can zoom in here. And if you want to do your design work in this plan view, you can do it in this view as well. And I will bring up an elevation view and show you how that works in just a minute. So let's go ahead and browse down into our wall cabinet here. And what I want to do is I want to find a pie cut cabinet, and I'm looking for 36-inch height. So I've got my height here, so I'm going to come in here and click and place that cabinet, and you'll notice our 3D view updates, and anything that I design in my plan view, my elevation view, always simultaneously updates in either view. Now for our wall cabinets, let's go ahead and go into our 36-inch cabinets, and what I'm after is a 21-inch cabinet or something thereabouts, and let's go ahead and place that in our 3D view. Now you'll see my dimensions here. I can simply highlight that, stretch it, and then I can bump that into place. The cabinet bumps right in there. And now I want a 2-drawer model. Let's maximize our 3D view here. Let's find a 2-door cabinet and highlight that, and I want this one to be 33 inches. So again, you'll notice that's bumping in 3-inch increments as I pull that out, so it makes it pretty easy to do. Now the next thing that I want is let's go ahead and as long as we're in here, let's place a couple cabinets over here. And we want to make this one 24 inches. That's set up fine. Let's go ahead and place one more over here. Running out of space, let's pull that over. and I want this one to be 33 inches. Bump that into place. Snap that. And the next thing I'm going to do is let's go ahead and place our cook range and our cook hood. I'm going to come into my user catalog, which is just simply a grouping of favorites, and I'm going to find a range. Now again, you can use name brand specific if you use Viking or a variety of other brands, and if Chief Architect doesn't have that catalog, a lot of the manufacturers have their catalogs available for download. Most of the common formats will support importing those. So I've found a 40-inch range, and I'm going to simply click that and place that into our design. Let's go ahead and bump that up against our cabinet. And the next thing I'm going to do, as long as I'm in here, let's go ahead and find our refrigerator. And I'm going to place that refrigerator off to the side over here. I'm just going to pull that off to the side because I'm going to use that here in a little bit. That way I'm not going back and forth in the catalog. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place a cook hood above our range. I'm going to use one of the wood modes. Let's go ahead and find our hood here. And I'm looking for a 48-inch hood roughly. I think that's the largest that we have. Okay, so I found the hood that I want, and I'm just going to roughly position that where I want. Again, I'm going to go into an elevation here and show you how the dimensions work. So I've got this hood highlighted, and I'm going to use my center tool, and I'm going to center that on the center of this cook range. And now it's exactly centered on that. You'll find this center tool is pretty handy if you're doing remodeling work and with your kitchen you have a window that's already in your room, and then you can place your sink base and then use the center tool on that window and quickly center it. So let's go ahead and let's go into our wall elevation. I'm going to close this 3D perspective view here, and I'm going to use my wall elevation camera, and I'm going to take a section of this wall. And the first thing you'll notice is, first of all, we have both color and black and white elevations. You'll notice that I have an indicator. If I zoom in here on the door, Chief Architect is layer based, so if you want to turn off different layers, you want to turn off your electrical layer, your HVAC layer, your wall cabinets, they're all layer based, so you can easily toggle those on and off. So I'm going to actually grab these two cabinets to the left of our cook range, and I'm going to copy those, and I'm going to reflect it on the other side of my cook range. Okay, let's go ahead and bump our base cabinet off to the far right, back in. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with our upper wall cabinet. Again, I'm going to use my copy tool, reflect the center of our cook range, and pull that over. And I'm going to just copy this cabinet one more time. Let's just slide a copy over here, and then we'll bump the two together. So you can use some tools like center and reflect and save yourself a little bit of time. Now the next thing I'm going to do is let's go ahead and use our dimensions. So I'm going to use my dimension tool here, and I'm just going to take a dimension right through our boxes. And let's go ahead and pull that down. And then the next thing I want to do is let's go ahead and use our center line tool. Let's use our center line tool here. Let me switch to center line, grab that tool, zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to pull a center line right through the same thing. We'll pick up our appliances and fixtures with the center line. And the last thing I'm going to do is an end-to-end dimension. Let's go ahead and pull it from one wall to the other. Pull that down. And as long as I'm in here, let's go ahead and do the vertical. Pull our dimension down through here. Pull this over. This extra line I'm seeing, that's part of my outside wall. I set up an invisible wall so that creates a little different view. So Chief Architect actually supports NKBA dimension guidelines. In fact, you can use Chief Architect if you are taking the exam with the NKBA for CKD or CKBD. And so Chief Architect is one of the software applications you can do for that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a partition in for our refrigerator, and I'm just going to use a generic partition. I'm going to come in here, place the partition. If you want to click on that and resize it, you can do that in the elevation view. You can also open it up and specify the exact dimensions. So let's go ahead and set that to be 84.5, and then also the depth on it to be 24 inches. Zoom out here a little bit. Let's go ahead and snap that against our cabinets, and I'm going to make a copy of that, and we'll just place another copy of that over here. Pull our refrigerator over, and then we'll pull our partition over. If I have time, I'm going to change this partition and put a couple of panels on it, since that's going to be exposed. Now, so far for all of our cabinets, I've been using Wood Mode out of the Wood Mode catalog. I'm going to create a specialty cabinet above our refrigerator, and actually I'm just going to use a blank cabinet. I could use a filler, but I'm going to show you how the Chief Architect cabinets work. We'll also do something a little special above our cook hood. So I'm going to use just a generic wall cabinet. I'm going to come over here and place that off to the side here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a 6-inch high cabinet, and I'm also going to make it 48 inches wide. And let's go ahead and open up the information about the cabinet. The first thing is since this is above our refrigerator, I'm going to set the depth to be 24 inches. And on the front, I'm going to change this to be a drawer. And I'm doing this because I want a panel above this. And with the drawer, what I want to do is I want to remove the hardware, because that would look maybe a little strange with such a small cabinet. So I'm going to come in here, turn the hardware off, and then when we browse through the door styles and drawer styles, we can place that in. So I'm going to snap that into place. Now I'm going to create a copy of that, and I'm going to put that above our cook hood. So let's go ahead and create a copy of that. And I'm just going to slide a copy over here, and let's go ahead and center that on our cook range. And if I open this cabinet up, first of all, let's go ahead and click on the front, and let's remove that drawer that we just added. So it's a blank area. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set a very thin cabinet at a 1/2 inch. It's actually just a filler is what I'm doing, because I want to have a base molding, and I want to have it stand out when we I think our cabinets here might be 13 inches in depth. I want this to stand out. Let's go ahead and set that to be something like 16 inches. We'll set that to stand out. And then I'm going to change the floor to bottom to 89.5. Snap that into place, and let's also change the width to be 60 inches. Okay, so bear with me just a little bit, and we'll make this look pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do with our cook hood is I may want to put fillers on either side, and I'm not sure how to find those in the library. So I'm going to just simply bump this cook hood up to the cabinet that we place. It's very thin, and let's just stretch that out so that it bumps to the various cabinets here. So let's just bump that over here and bump that. You may want to use a filler to actually do that. So the next thing that I want to do, let's go ahead and take a perspective view, and that will allow me to select the other cabinets as well. Let's go ahead and save that. I'll just use my overhead camera, Let's go ahead and zoom in. As long as we're here, let's actually make a couple of changes to the colors on our wall and our flooring. Let's go in, and Armstrong actually has some flooring in here that shows quite well. See if we can find a plank flooring color. Venezuela Collection. I'm just going to change that slightly, brighten that up, and then let's find a color for our wall. Neutrals. Let's go ahead and just apply this onto our wall. Not sure if that's any better, but you can click on any object to make the change to the colors. And I'm going to change these cabinet colors after we finish with a couple things here. Step one is I want to put a molding, a crown molding, on these upper cabinets, and then I want to set a light balance on the lower below. So I'm going to simply click on the cabinets I want to change. I'm just shift clicking, and the first thing I'm going to do, let's actually grab this cabinet and see if I can grab that one. I want to set a crown molding that will follow all of these cabinets. So I've got them all selected. Let's go ahead and double click to open them up. And in the moldings tab here, I can go in and add a molding profile. Let's go to find our wood mode moldings. Come in here, and I'm after as large a crown as I can find. Here's one that's 3.5. You can see the profile. Now, by the way, you can use a variety of other molding profiles. You can draw your own, and if we don't have the manufacturer in our library, of course, a lot of them have this profile available on their website, and our program will automatically extrude that profile in 3D around your cabinets. So let's choose this 3.5-inch molding, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that off to be 3¼ inches. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow me to have a 1/4 inch reveal in here. Go ahead and choose OK. And if I toggle on my line drawing, you can see that here's what we were intending to do with the set out of our cook hood. Here's our refrigerator. And by the way, these are just different filters you can toggle on. You can do line drawing, you can do watercolor, and any of these images that you toggle through you can simply save out. And then the mode that I'm in right now is just called a render view. Chief Architect supports a ray trace view, and if you run ray tracing on your image, it's going to take a little bit longer because what it's doing is it's calculating your light, both man-made and natural, and reflectivity off of the different components in the design. So the rendering gets much better than this, but when you're doing your design work, you don't want to spend the performance time, so you don't want to design in a watercolor view or some of the other views that are a little more computational intensive. Okay, so we've got our crown molding set up for the cabinets. The next thing is I want to select a handful of these cabinets, and again I'm just going to shift click on the cabinets that I'm after, and I want to set a light balance on these particular cabinets. So again, I'm going to come into the moldings category, and I'm going to add new. Again, browse into the wood mode moldings, and I'm just going to choose a basic light balance. Here's our dimensions. So our height is 1½ inches. I'm going to change my offset from the bottom. So let's go ahead, and I've got a 1½ inch valance, so I'm going to set that to be 1.5 inches off. You'll notice here's my preview. May be difficult for you to see. There's sometimes a time lag, or the quality of the rendering isn't quite as good on your end. The other thing is I want a horizontal offset so that I don't have that light balance sticking too far out. So I'm going to pull that in about half of the distance, that half the overall distance of the width, about. So I've got that light balance set up, and so I've got those things identified. The next thing I'm going to do is Let's bring up our plan view. I'm going to quickly lay out our island cabinets, and then we'll start changing our doors and colors. So to build our island, I'm going to borrow from a couple of the existing cabinets that we have in our design here. I'm just going to grab this cabinet here. Let's go ahead and create a copy of that and paste it out here in our 3D view. And let's go ahead and grab a copy of this cabinet, hit Control C on my keyboard, and we'll just paste that one over here. Now I'm going to close my project browser, and let's go ahead and bring up our plan view. And sometimes it's easier, let's go ahead and pull this cabinet over. There we go. Sometimes it's easier to do your design work in either an elevation view or in a plan view. And what I want to do is I'm going to actually replace this with a dishwasher, so that's just a placeholder. But let's select this cabinet, and I'm going to shrink that to 18 inches. Again, if you zoom in, you can see my dimensions update. So now that I've just closed my catalog, I need to reopen it. I want to find a sink base, and let's go back into our base cabinets here, and I'm looking for a sink base. And let's see, sink base, and roughly I want to be able to get a sink. Let's use a something like a 36-inch cabinet. Let's go ahead and place that here. I'm going to pull that around to the other side. Actually, let's pull that over. I'll delete that cabinet. And let's go ahead and pull that in, snap it into place, and I want that to be 36 inches. Let's select that other cabinet and delete it. So I've got my configuration set up, and in my library, let's go ahead and add our dishwasher. Again, I'm going to come into my favorites catalog. Instead of browsing to a manufacturer, I'm going to find a dishwasher, and I'm going to simply click on the cabinet that I want to place at. Do it in our 3D view. So that replaces that cabinet with the dishwasher. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to find a sink. And I'm going to click on the cabinet. Even though I don't have a countertop, I'm going to click on that cabinet. And I may raise that sink up here just a little bit. Let's go ahead and open that up, and I'm just going to specify, I'm going to bring that up 1.5 inches since I don't have my countertop setting on there. But I am going to add a couple of custom countertops here in the end. So I'm going to now take and borrow from the trick we used earlier. I'm going to highlight these two cabinets, use my copy and reflect about the center of our sink base, and I've got my island set up. Now I'm going to build this in reverse so you can see that. Let's go ahead and maximize our plan view here. Let's just group select all of these cabinets and pull them out so we have a little bit of room when we do our 3D view. Let's go back to our 3D view here, maximize that. Okay, so we have the basics laid out with all of our boxes, and now we can have a little fun. Let's go ahead and go back into our wood mode catalog, and in the door and drawer styles, you can simply come through here, choose your different styles of doors, and let me zoom in a little bit so we can see what this is going to look like. So you can find your different door styles. You can simply click and apply that. Let's see if I can straighten my view up there a little bit so it doesn't feel like... So you can simply click on the different cabinets, and let's go ahead and find a different style of door. A recessed door, square door. Here's a beaded door. And you can click on the different cabinets, and so you can choose the different styles. Here's our drawer that matches that. And so there's a lot of different styles we can choose from. Once you've defined which style you've like, let's go ahead and apply this to all of our cabinets here. So I'm just going to come in here with this curved door, and we'll apply that. may be tough for you to see this. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my line drawing so you can see the door style. It'll be easier to see it actually once we change the color of our cabinets. So let's go ahead and apply the drawer style. Simply just click on the front of the cabinet. You can apply it and set it up. And it looks like I've got a couple more before I forget those. And remember, above our refrigerator, I wanted a nice little onlay, so I'm just going to borrow from that. And if I wanted to put some panels down the side of that partition, if I have time at the end, I'll also show you how that works. So with our line drawing view, you can see the way that looks, our technical illustration view, and then our artistic line drawing view. You can toggle through those different views. So now that we've got our cabinets in place, we've set the door style, let's go ahead and let's explore what other options we have. First of all, with the wood species, you'll find different wood species, so we can apply that to the cabinet. Here's distressed pine. Click that. And you can simply come through here and choose the different colors or wood species that you're after for your cabinets. I'm going to just pull off and just use our basic wood species that we have set up. You'll find the finishes, both the stain and paint, so you can stain your cabinets. And you can click on the, let's go ahead and change that to the, you can click on the cabinet, simply grab the different color and apply it. And this is where it starts to get fun. If you want to do this with your client, you can choose the colors. The paint colors, let's go ahead and choose some of our paint colors. And before I do that, let's change our wall color real quickly. Let me go into one of my colors here, and I'm just going to paint our wall so that we have a little different color when we do this. So with the paint colors inside of the wood mode opaque finishes, let's go ahead and see what our options are here. So we can click on the color, you can apply that, and if you like the color, you can actually change the scoping of the material painter to the room, so then when I click, it actually changes all of the cabinets at one time. So you can simply click on that color and get a preview of what that looks like. So again, you can kind of just go through here and choose the different colors. Here's a yellow. That's not going to look very good with our wall color, although not bad. And so that's kind of the fun part of it. Now, when you provide cabinets, obviously clients like to see the countertops. When the cabinets come in with Chief Architect's catalog, there is no countertop. So let's look at how we might add that. I'm going to group select all of our base cabinets. The easiest way to do that, I'm going to bring up our plan view here. Let's go ahead and split our screens. So to select all of our base cabinets, I'm going to use my base cabinet tool, and I'm simply going to drag a marquee around the different base cabinets. And then I'm going to toggle on the countertop. You'll notice that right now my height is 34.5. I'm just going to add a temporary countertop, and I'm going to convert that into a manual countertop. This will save me a little bit of time. So I'm going to convert that on, add the countertop. Again, that color came in is because of my default. And I've got a button down here that says Generate Custom Countertop. So that's going to convert that into a custom countertop that I can then further modify and make it independent of the cabinet. So I'm going to click that button. And one more time, let's just go back into our base cabinets, and I'll toggle that countertop back off so that doesn't interrupt our height. So let's go ahead and set that back to a 0. And so with the countertop, actually let's go back in and change our backsplash. I'm going to turn that off, set that to 0. With our countertop in place, the next thing I want to do is I want to add a backsplash from our wall cabinets down below. So to select those, let's go ahead and let's just do that in this view here. I could also marquee select that just like we did with the other cabinet, base cabinet. Let's go ahead and open that up. And I'm going to check this button backsplash to base below. When I do that, you're going to see the preview update, and it's going to bring in our default material. Now the next thing that I can do is I can generate a custom backsplash on here, or I can simply grab the cabinet up here, and let's just go ahead and check backsplash to below. And that's probably not going to work out because it's hitting my cooktop. So there's another way of drawing our backsplash. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to temporarily return back to our wall elevation view. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Didn't mean to do that. Click on this camera and double click on it to reopen our wall elevation. I'm just going to grab our, it's called a polyline solid, and we'll just zoom in here roughly and create our custom backsplash. Let's go ahead and pull this down, snap it to the top of the countertop, and then we'll just pull it somewhere up behind the cook hood. Finally, I want to open this up, and I'm going to set the thickness to 1/2 inch. And so I've got what I'm after. I'm going to close my wall elevation here and go back into the 3D view that we have set up. And so the default material is just a slab here. And so what you can do now is you can browse into the different materials. We have Dell tile, plus a variety of glass tiles that you can choose from. Let's see if we can come into tile, glass tiles, mosaic tiles. And so you can have some fun with the glass tile. Let's go ahead and change this to our backsplash, and then we can change all of this at one time once I select the different backsplash components here. So I think I got all of those. So you can, simply come in here and change the different colors. Now that I've got all those selected, I can change that at one swoop and make the changes. So you can have some fun with that and choose the different colors and help your clients visualize their dream home. I'm going to choose a darker tile here. Let's see if I can find my darker tile, my darker glass tile. And I'm going to apply that into the design here. Now, I mentioned we have a number of paint manufacturers, a number of tile manufacturers, Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams, Behr Paint, Dell Tile. There's always a situation where you can't find that right color, so you can always use a digital photo or a website and simply import that into your design and use it in that way. The next thing I want to do for our island is I actually want to continue with my custom countertop tool, and I want to draw a custom countertop off of the side of this cabinet grouping. So I'm going to bring up my plan view here. Let's go ahead and tile our views. And what I want to do is I want to use my custom countertop and create a offset countertop in here. And we can take a look at this in our 3D view as we begin our drawing. I'm just going to orient my view here a little bit so you can kind of see what we're going to do. In my plan view, I'm going to use my specific custom countertop tool, and I'm just going to come in and create a shape of a countertop. And from here I'm going to add my dimensions. I'm going to make this 11 feet, and then I'm also going to highlight the dimension here, and I'm going to make it 12 inches. So I have a 12 inch by 11 foot countertop. I'm going to use my center tool here, and I'm going to center it on the sink base. Now it's centered. And if I double click on this, I can actually open it up and I'm going to change the height to be 42 inches, and I'm also going to set the thickness to be 3 inches. And again, you can see what we have going on in our 3D view. And now I'm going to pull that countertop and have it overlap onto the sink, and we're going to do a cutout for the faucet. So I'm going to highlight our countertop, and let's just pull this back in over the top of our existing cabinet base. I'm not going to worry too much about the precise location of it. And so the first thing we need to do is I'm going to create a arced cutout for our sink so that we can incorporate that into the design. I'm using a break tool found down here in the menu, and once I've got that set up, I can simply highlight, let's go ahead and create one more break over here, highlight that area, and I can pull that out. Now you can chamfer the edges in here. I can arc this line if I want to highlight this line, this segment here. You can create an arc. You can pull that out. If you open that up, you get the radius of it, and you can simply chamfer this. Let's go ahead and set our chamfer to be something like a 1/2 inch. Click on this edge, and then let's go ahead and hit this chamfer, and we'll chamfer this side as well. I'm not going to spend too much time, but you'll find powerful CAD tools to create just about any shape that you want with your designs. If I bring up an image, you can see that this was actually a custom cutout. So it's just a spline tool, and here's an overlapped countertop. So a variety of things you can do with your designs. Now let's go ahead and use our, I want to make this a glass countertop, so let me find my countertop material. So I've got a blue smoke glass in here, and I'm just going to simply click on that item. Let me undo that here, change that to the component, and just paint that one particular item. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to figure out how to support this. So I could browse into the library and find some corbels and apply them to the back of the cabinet. But what I want to do is I actually want to create a series of standoffs to support this. So to set those standoffs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Chief Architect CAD tools to simply build a cylinder. So I'm just going to come over here to the side here, and I'm going to drag in a cylinder, and if I open this up, I'm going to specify our dimension. Our radius is 1 1/4 inches, and the height, let's go ahead and set that to be 6 inches, and then roughly the top height off the counter, 36 inches, and I've got that set up. Now in my 3D view, I'm going to pick up the material off of my faucet with my color chooser and click on that standoff. Now I've got this floating out in space. It's easier for me to edit. I'm going to select that standoff. I'm going to use my multiple copy tool here, and let's set that to be something like every 16 inches. And now I'm just going to create a series of copies down near the cabinet. And in my plan view, I'm going to group select all of these, just draw a marquee around it, use my center tool, center it on our sink base, and now I'm going to position those right into where I want those, right off the top of my box. So let me zoom out here a little bit. So that's how I've created my, it looks like I need to maybe raise this countertop up just a little bit. Let's go ahead and do that. Set it to be 43 inches. That will solve my problem, my math error. And so that's kind of how you create a custom countertop and also a custom island. When you've spent very much time configuring elements, you can block these and then save them into your library and build up a portfolio. So to do that, I'll go ahead and bring up my plan view. I can simply just draw a marquee around my island, press the block button here, and then I have a add to library tool, and then I can simply add that into my library. Let's go ahead and do that. And then you can give it a name in here, my island. Oh, sorry about that. Give it a title here, my island. And then you can reuse that for future work. In fact, I've already created this island with some more accessories on it. Adding accessories is always a nice thing to help you sell your job. So let's go ahead and let's delete our island, and then when I place it back in, we will place it oriented the right way. So let me scroll up here into my favorite island groupings, and I'm going to find my island that I've created for this kitchen. So here we go, and I get the preview of it. Let's go ahead and place it in our plan view. We'll zoom out here just a little bit, and if I highlight that, I'm going to get a dimension here. Let's go ahead and set that to be 42 inches. And that will give me another dimension off this side. I'm going to set that to be 42 inches. And now I've got my island already built with all of the electrical components. So not only can you block cabinet related things, countertop, custom CAD objects that we have underneath here, but you can also place accessories on here. Okay, now the next thing that we want to do is I'm going to place a door. So let's go ahead and use my door tool. I'm going to place a door over here, and then I want to place a series of windows above our cabinets. In our room, I'm going to select our room. Just simply click in the middle of the room here, and then I have an open button here. This will bring up what we call our room specification, and when I did my default plan, I basically have a 9-foot ceiling, and with this room dialog, you can raise the ceiling, you can lower the floor, you can get as detailed as you want. You can set your floor finish thickness. I actually only have a 1/2 inch. You're using hardwood, you may want to change that to 3/4 inch. You can also define if your cabinets sit on top of the finished floor or not. There's a lot of details in here, and the nice thing is Chief Architect offers in-depth webinars, and you'll find in-depth training videos. We have almost 500 training videos available on the website. So the time being, I'm going to change our ceiling height to be 11 feet or 132 inches, and if we accept that, that's going to immediately grow our room. And I want to set a bank of windows above our cabinets. So to do that, I'm just going to pull our 3D view over here a little bit. Use my window tool. I'm going to place a window over here just as a placeholder that I can then edit and make changes to. So let's go ahead and open up this window here. And the first thing I want to do is I want to change the default to a fixed glass window. And then my dimensions basically are 18 by 18. And this lintel here, I want that to go away. Again, you're going to notice a lot of tabs just like you did in the cabinets that you can make changes to. So I'm going to remove that, that sill actually. Pull that off. And then finally, I'm going to come into the casing and I'm going to reduce the casing. Now, just like the crown molding that we put on our cabinets, you could browse into the library. You can set your casing style. So if you have specific profiles for that, or you have a millwork manufacturer you're using, you can set that up. So I have my 18 by 18 window. Let's go ahead and pull this over here, and let's slide this into place. This is a good example of now using your wall elevation. So I'm going to close my parametric view. I'm going to reopen the camera that I have saved here. And let's go ahead and select our dimension that we have set up. And if I've already run this dimension, you can actually go ahead and snap that onto different objects. Turn that message off. And so if I want to pull that onto my casing, go ahead and just pull that diamond. And if you don't want a dimension, you can simply grab it, pull it off, and it will remove it. So let's go ahead and set that on there. And once I've got my window selected, I can actually click on these dimensions, and I'm going to go ahead and set that to be 8 inches. And then I'm going to roughly pull it over so that it's centered off of that first cabinet. So now what I want to do is I want to create a series of copies of this all the way down this wall. So I'm going to use the same method that I did as I created my custom island standoff. So I'm going to use my multiple copy tool. In this case, I'm going to change my multiple copy to 18 inches since that's the basic size of my window. And I'm just going to drag a series of copies down that wall. I'm going to close the elevation view, and I'm going to group select all of these windows, and I'm going to paste them on this other wall. So in my window mode, I'm just going to marquee select all of my windows, copy button, paste button, and let's go ahead and pull these down. I'm not going to worry too much about the dimension, really. And so I've got my window set up back into our 3D view, and we can see the way this looks. Now, a lot of doing kitchen design obviously is making it look good for your client. So if you have a particular project, maybe it's a remodeling project, and if you've got a door or a window that you're adding and it's new, let's go ahead and make this a little bit larger door. You can actually stand on the other side of this wall with your digital camera, and you can take a photo of it, and then you can simply drop that into your design. Let's go ahead and open up one of our images that we have, and we'll just pull that into the design, and you get a preview update of that. Now, if you want to get sophisticated with your design work, you can also set your sun angle and time of day, and with the advanced rendering, the ray trace, which is the next step above that, you will actually get your light information based on your latitude and longitude for your project. So it gives you a very realistic scene that you can provide to your clients. So that may help you with the placement of skylights or windows, doors, and allow them to see what it's really going to look like. Let me go back into our design here. And after you sell your clients the kitchen, the next step is we need to figure out how to order the different components and price this out. So I'm going to close my 3D view, and let's go back in to the floor plan, and with Chief Architect you're going to find schedules that you can place for your doors, windows, cabinets, room finish, electrical. So I'm going to choose my cabinet schedule, and I should have zoomed out here. Let me just pull this out. Bear with me for just a second. And I'm going to set this up so that I can see what my cabinets are. I've got a couple of labels in here for my generic cabinets. And what I can do here is, let's go ahead and open this up, and our different label styles. Let's go ahead and use a call out for our label, and let's toggle on our actual label here for our cabinets. Cabinet labels. And now we'll see the different labels that corresponds to the information. If you go into the, so that's our schedule, if you go into the materials list, let's go ahead and calculate from all floors. This materials list is actually every single thing in our model so far. I mentioned earlier that Chief Architect supports whole home design, so you're going to find your heated ceiling area, wall area, glass area, and this is broken out by different categories. Here's our siding, our trim, our flooring material. Okay, here's our Armstrong flooring. Here's how much information, and this works just like a spreadsheet. So if you know your price, you can enter that in. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. You can enter that in for the pricing of your different components. Now, as I scroll down into the cabinet section, first of all, you're going to notice there is no pricing. And since Chief Architect has built the catalog, in this case for wood mode, we don't actually enter the pricing or the label information. I've gone ahead and done this for this kitchen. I'm going to close this down, and I'm going to actually open up the kitchen that I've added that into. So let me just temporarily close it. So I have opened up our other plan that I have set up, and first of all, you're going to notice my dimensions are all added in here in my plan view. I've got my layer colors set up differently. So let's go back into our materials list here, and we'll scroll down into our cabinet section. So you're going to find the different labels set up, and the codes, and the pricing. Again, this pricing probably doesn't match your actual pricing. These are numbers that I simply grabbed and put in there. And then it's going to total it out. And whether it's the schedule or this more detailed material list, you can export this materials list to Excel, and then you can bring that into a variety of other programs if you want to do things beyond what we offer. You'll notice that in addition to the cabinets, here is my EnviroGlass countertop. So again, you can put your pricing information in there. Go ahead and enter in a price, and then you can pretty quickly get an idea how much information or how much your budgeting information is set up. Here's our molding. You recall we added a light valance onto the cabinet. We added our crown molding, and so this is going to give us our lineal feet. Alright, so if I return back to my 3D view, as I had mentioned earlier, Chief Architect is very powerful at being able to help you sell the job. So if you want to make changes to the colors, materials, textures, simply open up the color, click on the object, and you can make changes right in front for your clients. You can also use the different rendering techniques. I mentioned we have our vector view, we have our glasshouse view, and these are just different filters that you can simply click on and apply. And you can use the artistic rendering techniques. Many people don't like to use the more realistic views because perhaps it's too realistic for your client, and you simply want to use the different styles set up. So I'm going to choose the watercolor rendering, and any one of these views that you have set up on the site you can add email to your clients, put on your website, and use it to get more business. That pretty much wraps up our kitchen design. Remember to use the advanced rendering techniques to help you sell your job. This is a rendering in Chief Architect. There are the different options up in the upper left hand corner. You can choose a white cabinet, a dark cabinet, or a more of a cherry wood cabinet, and help use Chief Architect to quickly do your design work, help you sell the job, and then do the detailed drawings to help you also place your orders. And remember, Chief Architect can be used for full home design. If you have any particular questions about Chief Architect, again, we'd be happy to answer any of your questions offline. If you want to give us a call, we'd be happy to help you through any particular questions. So give us a call. We do all of our support in-house. We do all of our training in-house. For larger groups, we're happy to come down, do training. We can also set up a specific webinar training to do a group of people that may be scattered around. So thanks for attending today's seminar, and have a great day, and thanks for attending.